My name is Tony Escobedo. I've been working for Hemp City for about 3 years, and I started using CBD products about almost 3 years ago. By doing that, I have found that my arthritis pain, my glaucoma, I had perforated colon, a lot of different surgeries that were bothering me for pain. I'm looking for pain relief using opioids, anything I could to relieve the pain. But since started using CBD, it really just taken away all of my anxieties about the pain that I was having. I was walking around with a cane because I have a fake hip and a fake knee on the left side. I'm bone on bone on the right side. So by using the CBD products, I'm able to function. I'm able to get up and go to work every day. I'm able to do the things that I couldn't do before because I was losing my motion, my ability to move around and stuff because of the arthritis. I was walking around with a cane for about a year. By using CBD products, I no longer need the cane. I'm no longer anxious about my pain relief, and I'm using it every day. I use it religiously every morning and every evening right before I go to bed, because I find that by using it like medication every 6 to 12 hours, it runs through your bloodstream and your system, and everything, all the pain receptors are kind of calmed down, able to relax, able to snooze, able to relax, where I never could before using any pain medications before, like opioids. It's the most natural pain reliever there is, because it's part of a cannabinoid system we have, and it's a cannabinoid-rich product added to your system. It really helps with the pain relief, the arthritis, the glaucoma. You're able to move, your range of motions are better. So I recommend it for anybody. I've got my 91-year-old mother using it. I've got my brothers and sisters using it for a lot of different diabetes. It reduces sugar levels. It helps my mom with neuropathy. She has a tingling in her legs, kind of using gel caps. It kind of helps her. Using the tinctures. I use the tinctures. I use the edibles, and I'm 69 years old and I'm not feeling it. So I recommend that you guys come into Hemp City or CBD Works and find out how it can work for you. We're all different. We all metabolize different. So it's up to everybody to find out what their dose is. Once you find out what your dose is, better than any medications out there. So come in and see us at Hemp City, or call CBD Works, Hemp City, and educate yourselves, or we can help educate you, because we use the product religiously, and so we're able to help people when they come in. Thank you very much.
My name is Joel Bernstein. My wife and I moved to Palm Springs in February of this year, and in April we were exploring downtown Palm Springs when we came across Hemp City. We didn't know anything about CBD, and I was curious about it. So walked in, met Ed, who is a general manager, and he explained how CBD works. Being a skeptic, I wanted to try it, but I was a little bit leery of it and not knowing what it really was. But I decided to try it by buying a bottle of the tincture. After paying for it, I decided to try it right at the desk. I took the tincture, and after speaking to Ed for about another 30 seconds, I turned around and started walking towards the door. What happened next was unbelievable to me. All of a sudden, my back, which had hurt me for well over 40 years from sports injuries, began to feel a whole lot better. I had a sensation where not only my back, but all the pain that was radiating down my leg as well was gone. I turned around, came back to see Ed, and I said, I don't know what you gave me, but it's got to be illegal. And Ed said to me, this is something that happens all of the time. At that point, I started to walk back out. My wife was with me. She said, they're hiring right now. Why don't you go back in there and ask them for a job? And I said, there was no reason to. You know, I was retired for 2 years. I made a good living for many years. She said, you like to help people. You love animals. She said, you could do both there. So I thought about it for a minute and found that this was the one thing that really interested me after looking at other opportunities that were out there that I really didn't want to do. Came in and interviewed. They hired me. And now I am able to see many, many people come in with all kinds of problems of their own, their family, their dogs, their cats, and I can then recommend things to them that will help them. I personally use the oils. That's my go-to. Every single morning I take 4 drops from the 1,000 milligram bottle. That lasts me through about 10 hours. And what's so incredible about that is that I have no problem standing on a cement floor all day. I could never have done that in the past. My wife, in turn, takes it. She has several chronic illnesses. It's helping her tremendously as well. So we have become advocates of the products. We use primarily the oils, and then we use also the creams. We use the 1,000 milligram cream bottle. I use it after working out in the morning. I normally have problems with my calves, which has been going on for many years with sports injuries. That immediately relieves the pain from them. The major reason I came to work for this specific company was the integrity and the ethics of the owners. I was told from day one, teach them and educate the people that come in, whether they buy something or not, make sure they leave understanding the products. That immediately told me this was a company I'd like to be associated with. So come to Hemp City and any one of our locations. We have 4 of them now, from Cathedral City to Palm Desert to Palm Springs to our new store in Temecula. Everybody in the store is educated and will be able to tell you the same thing. Thank you.
I'm Julie Frazier, and my story and how I started using the CBD oil was I was in an accident in 2000, and about 6 years into that, I developed chronic pain. And the pain was life-changing. I couldn't stay focused. I didn't want to get up in the morning. It was hard to go to work. I owned my own business, so that was really difficult because I have employees on a daily basis that I have to work with. So it made it really hard. It was making it hard for my family. I just was in pain all the time. It was difficult walking. Once I learned about the CBD oil, I started taking it, and it has changed my life. I panic when I go to run out because I notice a huge difference when I'm not taking it, and it's changed my life. I am able to get up, function, I can stay focused, and I'm having quality of life better now. And it's allowed me to not take Aleve or ibuprofen. I was living on all of that, and which we all know that's not good for your system. And it's helped me to not, I still have to on occasions take that. I'm not completely out of pain, but I'm able to function every day. I am using the CBD oils. I take it orally, and I'm using the 5,000 milligrams. And I take not quite a whole vial every single day, and I don't miss it. I would highly recommend anyone that is in pain or any other types of symptoms that medication's not working, try it. It's changed my life, and I have recommended Hemp City. I've lost count of the number of people that I've referred to come here to use the product, so it's amazing.
My name is Shar Abeda, and I'm use CBD oil and gummies since April. I'm in the medical field for 43 years, work at a local hospital in the emergency room. At the beginning of the year, I was diagnosed with 6 stomach ulcers. That was due to taking anti-inflammatory medication because of overall body pain, feeling like I was hit by a truck. And when the ulcers were discovered, I knew that I had to stop taking any kind of anti-inflammatories because they contributed to that. Actually, it was one Thursday, I was on my knees crying because of pain and asking the universe to provide me with something so I could feel better. And I went to a dispensary, and they did not have any CBD oil just by itself, and they recommended Hemp City. So I came down here on a Saturday and talked with the clerk, purchased a 500 milligram bottle of the sublingual oil, and started taking it, and by Monday, my overall pain was gone. When I had a follow-up endoscopy for my ulcers, all the ulcers were gone. And I truly believe that the CBD oil contributed not only to the healing of the ulcers, and of course the pain. And I've been using it ever since to alleviate a lot of shoulder pain that I have due to the work that I do in the emergency room. In May, my dog Jax, a 5-year-old lab, was diagnosed with bladder stones, with which she had to have major abdominal surgery. I started giving her CBD oil prior to the surgery of May 30th. Maybe a half a dropper full or so. She loves it. She'll just lick it right off the dropper, and to help her body get through the surgery. And I've been giving it to her ever since. And also my 14-year-old shepherd, who has hind leg problems and back problems, and she's really responding to it well. I give it to my other dog every other day, faithfully, and they're both doing fine. I'm sure that I would rub some of the CBD oil on Jack's incision on her abdomen, and I think that it helped speed up the healing process of the incision, in addition to keeping her calm, because labs have a personality to be a little bit hyper and nosy. So it helps her to relax and be a little bit calmer. I use the oil and the gummies. I use the 1,000 milligram oil now. I find, interestingly enough, that the gummies seem to be more effective for me. And Jax doesn't use the dog biscuits because she's on a special veterinary diet for her bladder stones. So everybody in our house uses the CBD oil, and we're all happy and healthy and pain-free. I would recommend CBD to anyone. I was talking to one of my coworkers in the emergency room yesterday. Her husband has a lot of knee pain, and he can't take anything with THC in it because he's a correctional officer. And so I talked to her about Hemp City and CBD oil, and I promised I'd bring her some information about it, and I've shared it with 3 or 4 other coworkers. I'm truly sincere and truly believe. And the first day that I was in here, a lady came in and she knew exactly the product she wanted, and she bought it. And she looked at me and she said, "I hope this gives you the miracle that it's given me." And I can truly say that, yes, I believe it has. It's helped me not have to take any kind of anti-inflammatory meds, and I'm sure that it's helped the animals to stay in a healthy state.
My name is Robin Miller, and this is my son Gabe, and he is 9 years old, and he has autism. He was diagnosed when he was 3. We had him on pharmaceuticals for a few years until we discovered CBD, and now he's been on CBD for the last few years. He was taking Adderall and guanfacine. He was taking Adderall in the morning and guanfacine at night. It was kind of the Adderall was for his attention span and to try to get him to focus more and pay more attention in school. After him taking just the Adderall, actually, he started to become more aggressive. It was a little bit more of a struggle than being without the Adderall, so I took him back to the doctor and they gave him even more pharmaceuticals, guanfacine, which was supposed to like counteract it and calm him down and not make him so aggressive with the Adderall. Decided after a few years of that I wanted to get him off of the pharmaceuticals and try something a little different. His doctor suggested a few things, teas and herbal things like that. And then I started hearing more about CBD and I looked into that, and that is kind of when we started doing that, the CBD instead of the pharmaceuticals. So yes, I replaced pharmaceuticals. I've always been an advocate for cannabis, and I've always said to myself that if I would do it, if it was something that I thought was legal or that I thought I could do, I always was more afraid that I would get in trouble for giving him CBD or cannabis-based products. And then the law passed, and it came that we could do that, and we could give our kids like cannabis products and not be fearful of being in trouble or having them taken or whatever maybe. It was just something I was very afraid of, and when things passed and I realized that that was something that I could do, it was something that I really decided almost immediately that I wanted for him, because I'm such an advocate of cannabis and what it does in people's lives. Like, I've used cannabis for a very long time, and I'm not, I'm okay to say that, and I just think that it is beneficial to people. It's something that needed to happen in the world for a really long time. CBD has benefited us a lot in our lives. I don't think that Adderall or pharmaceuticals did what they were supposed to do with him. I did notice a complete change almost instantly when we started giving him CBD. He was quite a bit calmer. His attention was a lot better. I know it looks a little like, but it used to be so much worse than. A lot of things were a struggle for him. He had a lot of side effects with the Adderall. He wouldn't sleep a lot at night, and there was a lot of things that.
What is your favorite DVD?
My favorite DVD is Shrek. He wouldn't sleep a lot at night. I also found that he really wasn't eating as much as he probably should be because it was such a stimulant. When I switched him over to CBD, he started paying much more attention in school too. He did very, very well in comparison to the year before in school. He took in a lot more. He actually got like a really positive note sent back from school about his attention, specifically that he sits a lot in school. Instead of getting up and just doing whatever he wanted, he raises his hands now. He's learning how to conversate with people and looking in people's eyes, and I think that has a lot to do with just not having so much anxiety about everything, because he has a lot of anxiety, and that helped. His sleeping patterns were a little horrific before we started the CBD. He would not go to bed until like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and he always was awake at like 4 in the morning, like always. And he used to wake up like every single night at 4 o'clock and just stay up. He now goes to bed at 8 o'clock pretty much every night, and he sleeps through the night. He doesn't wake up very often unless something's wrong, then he'll obviously wake up, but he sleeps a lot better. His attitude's a lot better. I just feel all in all, school was the most important thing, because that's why I did the Adderall and the pharmaceuticals to begin with, because he was having a really hard time in school. And that didn't help. It never really helped, but putting him on CBD really made him learn focus, be able to sit and be calm and sit with self and focus and eye contact and pay attention and learn how to raise his hand, and just to sit basically that in itself was a huge deal, like just to sit in class. Get up and
take pictures.
They are taking pictures. We do the oil, and we do the one full dropper. I believe it's 1,000 milligram bottle, and we do the one full dropper in the morning and then one full dropper at night. And during the day, if we notice like he's a little amped up or having a little anxiety, we'll just give him a gummy. And if he's not really focusing a lot on the things he should be, if we're having a hard time in session. I just hope that people realize what and I hate to say this, but what pharmaceutical companies are doing to our kids and doing to people, and it's all just for money. And I don't think that the kids are benefiting from it as much as CBD oil. I think that CBD oil is a healthy, natural option to pumping your kids full of things that are honestly in comparison to methamphetamines, because Adderall is an amphetamine, and before you think twice about giving your kids CBD or being reluctant because you're afraid. Do the research on what you are actually giving your kids, because that's even scarier. And CBD it's been the most natural thing that I could have possibly given him that isn't going to hurt him in the long run, and it's benefited him absolutely the most. I didn't see changes at all like this with Adderall at all. He's kind of like a new kid. I would definitely recommend CBD Works to anybody who is researching CBD or deciding maybe that they want to go that route instead of going other routes, because this was one of the most knowledgeable places that I came. They taught me the most about how to dose. CBD Works really just helped me get him comfortable and get him balanced and where he needed to be, and I would definitely suggest that to anybody who's especially on the rocks, because it just works. I promise it works.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Nick. My CBD venture started a couple of years ago. I got in a pretty serious accident, had a broken leg, put a rod down my leg, and coming out of the hospital I was prescribed, of course, a bunch of different pharmaceutical medicine. I denied that and chose a CBD route, and couldn't have been happier with the way it worked. It sped up my recovery. It gave me momentum back, it stopped swelling, and it really brought the swelling down. Every time I went to the doctor, he was like, "Man, what are you doing?" And I was just, CBD, I take it under my tongue every day. I take it twice a day, morning and night, about 30 milligrams in the morning and 30 before bed, and it also helps me sleep too. I also would rub it on my leg, and now, come today, I don't even feel the rod. I walk perfectly fine, and it's done a lot more for me than just help my leg. And again, it's 2 years after the accident. My leg is completely healed, 100%, and I'm not addicted to this whatsoever. I take it because I feel it's like a vitamin, and we need it in our bodies every day. I'd recommend CBD for any type of injury. At the age of 26, I was still young and my body was still reproducing, but it still sped up the recovery, and I could definitely tell. I mean, I grew up playing sports, hockey, motorsports, and it was nothing like from recovering when I was younger, and it's a whole new level with the CBD. It definitely speeds up recovery. So for the products I use the CBD Works 2,000 milligrams. I take half a dropper in the morning, half a dropper at night. I also enjoy the sports cream from Hemp City. I had surgery on my wrist a few years back. I had carpal tunnel, and I use that on my wrist when I'm driving and stuff like that, and it really helps out too. And it don't get stiff, my fingers don't lock up, and I'm younger, but I'm been through it, and it's really changed my life for the better. Through the awesome experience of being a customer at Hemp City, I fell in love with the brand and what it stands for and what it represents. One day coming in to get my product, I ended up bumping into the owners of the company, walking out, and explained to them my story and what happened, how much I believe in the product and love what they were doing, and expressed to them that I really wanted to help join the team and help build this and make this recognized. And a couple months after that, I ended up getting a call and got brought aboard, and today I'm very happy to be part of the Hemp City team to bring this into the new 2020 future.